Good afternoon, brothers. My name is Dr. Shaun Bullard. I am an endodontist and the owner at Buckhead Village Endodontics. And if you don't know what endodontics is root canal specialist. Okay, so I mainly perform root canal therapy and root canal surgeries and treat patients in my office every day, Monday through Friday. And so, just to give a little bit of background on my education, I went to Georgia State University for undergrad, got a degree in biological sciences. Then I went to University of Florida for dental school. And then I also went to University of Florida for my specialty training in endodontics, was an additional 2 years after that 4 years of dental school. That's what allows you to be an endodontist. And so I practiced for about 2 years as an associate, and then I opened up my own practice last year, right before the pandemic in early March. And so it's been going great ever since then, and I have a staff of about 4 employees, which helps me do the day-to-day tasks such as performing procedures, having them assist me in procedures, taking digital radiographs and CBCT imaging. Also a lot of, putting time into the business itself, such as managing employees and HR responsibilities as well. And so that's just kind of a brief background on my day-to-day activities and how I go about on my usual days. As far as struggles and triumphs that I've gone through, getting into dental school is a very stressful process. It's also a very competitive process as well. And so, in undergrad, I always had to make sure to spend that time being, a well-versed applicant, such as being involved with a lot of, social groups, as well as educational groups as well. And keeping the grades up, obviously, which is one of the most important things. I did some research as well during my time at undergrad as well. And so, one of my first kind of struggles that I went through in the early days was just trying to get through that standardized test, which is the DAT for dental school. And so, it's not the easiest test. A lot of people can struggle a little bit with it, and sometimes you don't always get to that perfect score that you always want to be at. Sometimes you may not even get to that average score. But one of the number one things that kept me striving for excellence was mentorships. And a lot of my mentors told me that it's not just about your test scores or your GPA, it's how you are overall as a person. And so those things kind of made me persuade to say, well, let me just try to keep continuing and following my dream to dentistry and apply anyways. And next thing you know, I ended up having 6 or 7 acceptances, and luckily enough, I was able to go to my number one choice, which was University of Florida. And so that's just one instance of pushing through to kind of block out that outside noise and avoiding the negative energy that tells you that you can't do things, because at the end of the day, you can always push and do things that you never expected to, as long as you just try to excel in your life and always try to do better and be a little bit better than you were the day before. And so once getting into dental school, that kind of brought its own can of worms with it. Dental school is really challenging. The workload is way more than what you experience in undergrad. It's more of like a 40-hour work week of classes. And so it can definitely be a lot more strenuous, but that's one thing that I would, tell people early in their career or in undergrad, is to try to figure out the best way that you can manage your time now. Because if you develop good time management skills early on in your career, then once you go into professional school, it makes you less likely to kind of break down and have those situations where you feel super overwhelmed. Because if you can manage your time well, you can still do all the things that you enjoy. And those are the things that let you excel in school as well. Because if you're still enjoying your time, it makes you a lot more proficient and a lot more excellent at your study habits. You retain a lot more and you learn a lot more, a lot faster. And so that's one thing that I kind of stressed in the beginning of my dental school career, and that really allowed me to, continue on to get to that next level, which was getting into a residency program and specializing because typically only around the top 10 to 20% of the class gets into specialty programs at all. So it's definitely taking it to that next level and that next step. And as long as you have that positive attitude and you balance your time well, you're able to keep that stress-free mentality, and the sky is the limit at that point. You will always be surprised at the things that you can accomplish if you just think that you can accomplish anything. That's pretty much my story there. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If anybody's ever interested in the field of dentistry, I would love to let you guys come check out my office, ask me any questions, and yeah, we can go from there. Thanks a lot.